So what does a scientific mind do in the arts? Well, I started making comics, but I also started trying to understand them almost immediately. One of the most important things about comics I discovered was that comics are a visual medium, but they try to embrace all the senses within it. So the different elements of comics, like pictures and words, and the different symbols and everything in between that comics presents, are all funneled through the single conduit of vision. So you have things like resemblance, where something which resembles the physical world can be abstracted in a couple of different directions. Abstracted from resemblance, but still retaining the complete meaning, or abstracted away from both resemblance and meaning towards the picture plane. Put all these three together and you have a nice little map of the entire boundary of visual iconography, which comics can embrace. And if you move to the right, you also get language, because that's abstracting even further from resemblance, but still maintaining meaning. Vision is called upon to represent sound and to understand the common properties of those two and their common heritage as well. Also to try to represent the texture of sound, to capture its essential character through visuals. And there's also a balance between the visible and the invisible in comics. Comics is a kind of call and response in which the artist gives you something to see within the panels and then gives you something to imagine between the panels. Also, another sense which comics vision represents, and that's time. Sequence is a very important aspect of comics. Comics presents a kind of temporal map. And this temporal map was something that energizes modern comics, but I was wondering if perhaps it also energizes other sorts of forms, and I found some in history. And you can see the same principle operating in these ancient versions of the same idea. What's happening is an art form is colliding with a given technology, whether it's paint on stone like the Tomb of Menna the Scribe in ancient Egypt, or bas-relief sculpture rising up a stone column, or a 200-foot-long embroidery, or painted deerskin and tree bark running across 88 accordion-folded pages. What's interesting is once you hit print, and this is from 1450 by the way, all of the artifacts of modern comics start to present themselves. Rectilinear panel arrangements, simple line drawings without tone, and a left-to-right reading sequence. And with 100 years, you already start to see word balloons and captions, and it's really just a hop, skip, and a jump from here to here. So I wrote a book about this in '93.